Welcome to my channel Limelight Leaks. Please share and subscribe and hit the bell icon for new updates. Before he was on TV, Richard Rawlings was already working hard, buying Dan's, selling cars, making t-shirts, and making his name known in the Dallas car world. But Fast and Loud changed everything. When the show started in 2012 on Discovery Channel, Rawlings quickly became famous. His loud personality, fast deals, and way of acting for cameras helped Gas Monkey garages stand out from other car shops on TV. But behind what people could see, Rawlings had bigger dreams. He didn't just want to-fix cars. He wanted to build a complete brand. By the end of Fast and Loud's first season, Gas Monkey stuff was selling really well. Hats, shirts, hoodies, all with fingery green monkey became must-haves for car lovers. But Richard wasn't happy with just selling stuff. He wanted fans to live the Gas Monkey way of life. And to do that, he needed to take the brand beyond the garage. That meant food, drinks, music, and live shows. In 2013, Rawlings made his first big move outside the car world by starting Gas Monkey Bar and Grill in Dallas. It wasn't just a restaurant, it was a show. Bright lights, loud car sounds, car decorations, and regular concerts made it feel like a rock concert mixed with a car show. It was bold, flashy, pure Gas Monkey. And it worked. Long lines formed. Famous people came by. News reporters said good things about it. Richard had made a place where fans could eat a burger, drink a beer, and feel like they were a part of his world. Happy about success, he did more. Plans for more locations, franchising, and even a music place, Gas Monkey Live, soon came next. On the outside, Rawlings looked like he couldn't be stopped. But in his rush to go worldwide, cracks were already showing what looked like the future of Gas Monkey was about to test everything Richard had ever built. When Rawlings started the first Gas Monkey Bar and Grill, it wasn't just something he loved. It was a smart business choice. He'd built a huge brand, value from Fast and Loud. And now it was time to make money from that name. The first Dallas location opened with a loud start garage-style design, live music almost every night, a car-focused menu, and Gas Monkey stuff covering through walls. For fans, it was like heaven. For people with money to invest, it was a bold move. In restaurants, Richard believed if Heckled served burgers and beer with these some cool attitude he sold cars, he could talk Heath Gas Monkey brand across the country, and for a while it worked. Their restaurant was packed. It became a popular spot for car lovers, tourists, and local people. It's not long after Gas Monkey Live, a big concert place next door, opened to even more excitement. Rawlings imagined a Gas Monkey kingdom. More places, licensing deals, bar chains in many states. He wanted to create an experience brand just like Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville or Guy Fieri's food chains. In meetings, he often said Gas Monkey could be the next worldwide licensed brand. But the restaurant world isn't like the garage. It's mean, expensive, unforgiving. And Rawlings was learning that the hard way. Franchising was harder than flipping cars. Building costs got really high. Making sure food quality was good at all locations became a huge headache. And not every city liked the craziness of Gas Monkey culture. The farther he expanded, the harder it became to control the feeling that made the first one so exciting. Thievery. Heart of the brand, wild, loud, unfiltered, was becoming a problem when it met the world of customer views, health checks, and making money. As Rawlings put more effort into expansion, the brand began to fall apart under its own heaviness. By 2015, there were active talks to open many Gas Monkey Bar and Grill locations across the U.S., from Vegas to Chicago to Florida. Licensing deals were being planned. Franchising agreements were being written and investment money was coming in. On paper, it looked like a gold rush, but behind what people could see, the cracks were spreading. The problem was Gas Monkey wasn't built on systems. It was built on personality. And Richard Rawlings couldn't be everywhere at once, while the first Dallas location still brought crowds. New places struggled to copy its success. Some had worker probables, others failed health checks. In some markets, customers complained about slow service, bland food, or a lack of Gas Monkey energy. The car culture charm didn't always work in fancy neighborhoods or areas without a built-in car fan base. Meanwhile, the music place, Gas Monkey Live started losing lots of money. Bookings were hit or miss. Big acts came with big promises to pay them. When shows didn't do well, the losses grew. Worker happiness dropped. Rawlings was still promoting the brand on TV and social media. But now, he was spending more time in meeting rooms than under the hood. Fans noticed the change. Online discussion groups lit up with questions. What's happening to the garage? Why is Richard focusing on restaurants? It's a brand that started with hard work and grease, was drifting toward being another over-licensed celebrity. Nameplate? And worse. Some long-time, fast and loud fans felt betrayed. Like the cars had become less important, Rawlings was trying to be a business mogul. But on doing so, he was putting the one thing fans loved most: the garage on the back burner. As the Gas Monkey empire grew, so did the complaints. Reviews on travel and restaurant webs see the begging, painting a troubling picture. Svendenries reported long wait times, cold food, or workers who didn't care. Others say the restaurants felt more like tourist traps than real reflections of car culture. For Richard Rawlings, who built his reputation on quality custom builds and flashy finishes, this was brand damage of the worst kind, public and impossible to ignore. People on the inside say the early days of the Bar and Grill had strict rules. Richard personally watched over menu development, helped design interiors, and even handpicked some workers. But with expansion, that level of controls slipped away. Managers were left to do things their own way. Training was inconsistent. And then there was Gas Monkey Live, the place Rawlings Shad hoped would change Dallas nightlife. While it booked some adjournums, Slayer, Social Distortion, Snoop Dogg, it struggled to make money. The same raw energy that made Gas Monkey Garage a success didn't work for concert planning and food service. The Cows, once charming, was now costly. Richard tried to keep up appearances. His social media stayed full of jets, cars, tequila, and good times. But behind what people could see, the money problems were real. Costs were higher than income. Leases were coming due. And lost-wit supporters began to grow, frustrated with the direction and red returns of the restaurant arm of Gas Monkey. What started as a brand extension was quickly becoming a brand liability. By 2018, the Gas Monkey restaurant empire was in deep trouble, and tensions bend the scenes had reached a boiling point. Richard Rawlings was now involved in a messy public legal battle with one of his business partners who said he mismanaged, broke contracts, and even misused the brand. The lawsuit filed in Dallas County sent shockwaves through local media and Decker fanbase. The details painted a picture far removed from the rockstar lifestyle Rawlings showed. The court papers accused Rawlings of blocking access to key money records, failing to fulfill partnership agreements, and using the Gas Monkey brand in unauthorized businesses. Rawlings, for his part, said back that his partners failed to do good operational work, hurt the brand's reputation, and mission-dulled resources. Rawlings, a man used to making decisions in the garage, now found his brand being pulled in directions he didn't fully control. Legal documents showed disputes over licensing rights, place operations, and even the use of the Gas Monkey logo. Fans reading between the aliens began asking, was Richard losing control of the empire he built? Behind what people could see, worker happiness dropped, employees left, social media turned mean, and the once roaring success of the Bar and Grill now felt more like a warning story. This wasn't just a bad investment, it was a full-blown identity crisis. For Richard Rawlings, it was becoming painfully clear. Building cars was one thing. Managing egos, leases, food costs, and legal contracts was a whole different kind of monster. As the lawsuits dragged on and the headliness got worse, the writing was on the wall. Gas Monkey Live, once called the crown jewel of Rawlings' expansion, quietly shaded its doors. The place's website at ISAPPEred. No press release, no farewell concert, just silence. Soon after, several Gas Monkey Bar and Grill locations either closed, changed names, or were sold off entirely. Rawlings, once seen as an unstoppable brand builder, had taken a hit, and the public noticed. For a man who always seemed 3 steps ahead, this felt like an unusual retreat, but those close to Rawlings say it wasn't just business. It was personal. He had put not just money, but reputation into these businesses. And when they failed, so did the image he'd spent years perfecting. The guy who always won the DL had finally bet too big and lost. Inside the company, the closures were heartbreaking. Workers were laid off, vendors went unpaid, and Rawlings reportedly walked away from millions in potential money just to stop fee bleeding. One former employee described it as watching the gas monkey dream disappear overnight. For Rawlings, shutting it down was the hardest part. Not just because of the failure, but because it meant admitting something didn't work. He stopped talking at booth restaurants. The flashy promo videos disappeared. The signs were quietly taken down. Replaced by other businesses. Gas Monkey, the empire, had overextended. And now it was shrinking back to the one thing that had always worked. Thegridge. The roar of the crowd was gone. So were the lights. All that was left was the hum of regret and the realization that building an imperium outside the garage takes more. Then horsepower. Richard Rawlings built his empire on being relatable. The hustler next door, we made it big by flipping cars and chasing dreams. But after the bar and grill disaster, something changed in the way fans viewed him. The backlash wasn't just about restaurants. It was a boot trust. People had bought into the Gas Monkey brand not just because of the cars, but because they believed in Rawlings' realness. The sudden change into nightlife, food chains, and tequila gave some the feeling that the original mission had been lost. Social media comments began to change. What happened to the garage? Why is he pushing tequila more than Camaros? Is this even about the cars anymore? These weren't mean people online. It's worth the superfans. It's the ones who'd watched Fast and Loud from day one, who bought Gas Monkey shirts, and who once drove ours too. Visit the Dallas garage. Now, they were wondering if Rawlings had become just another celebrity chasing next dollar. Worse still, their restaurants left a bad taste. Literal lifer, some spoping food and overpriced stuff. Critics called the brand overexposed and trying too hard to be cool. Even loyal fans admitted the shine had worn off. Gas Monkey had gone from rebel gridge to corporate machine in a matter of years, and not everyone liked what he saw. Richard, always the showman, tried to steer through it. He increased his presence online, returned focus to the garage, and teased new builds. But for many, the bar and grill, disassured, wasn't just a bad deal. It was a sign that the Gas Monkey brand had moved too far from its roots. And when your empire is built on loyalty, losing your base is the biggest risk of all. When the dust settled, many expected Richard Rawlings to come out swinging. After all, this was the man who turned flipping cars into a media empire. Loud, bold, and unapologetically brash. But in the wake of the Gas Monkey Live and Baron Grill failures, his response was surprisingly quiet. No fiery interviews, no grand YouTube tell-alls, just a few casual remarks in podcasts and interviews. Sometimes things don't go the way you planned. It's business. For fans, wow, were used to Rawlings owning the spotlight. The quiet felt deafening. People on the inside say he took the collapse personally. The bar and grill wasn't just a business. It was a statement, a way to put his brand on the map beyond car circles. He had celebrations at the openings, concerts at the places, merchandise flowing out the doors. For a few years, it really did look like Gas Monkey could become the next Harley-Davidson-style lifestyle empire. But the problem wasn't just bad management or expansion. It was identity. Rawlings had stretched their brand so far it broke. Rather than try to save what was left publicly, Rawlings chose to downplay it. When asked directly, he'd change topics, talking about the next car, the next trip, the next hustle. Some saw this as Daniel. Others saw it as strategy. He didn't want the public connecting Gas Monkey name with failure, even briefly. So instead of explaining the fall, he leaned into his strengths, optimism, distraction, and the next big thing. If couldn't erase the past, he could at least outrun it, and in many ways, headed. Fans slowly moved on. New episodes dropped, new stuff launched. But the sting lingered, especially for Rawlings. He may not say it outright, but behind sunglasses and the swagger, those who know him say this one left a scar. After the losses, the lawsuits, and the public mistakes, Richard Rawlings went back to basics. Back to where it all started, the garage. In 2020, amid pandemic chaos and changing media landscapes. He launched what some fans call Gas Monkey 2.0. New custom builds, fresh content, raw, unfiltered access to the shop through social media and YouTube. It's gone where theoverpers menus and corporate stage lights. This was about getting Gracie again. Rawlings knew he had to rebuild trust, so he did what he always does best. He worked the brand. He brought back the core audience by showing them's heart of Gas Monkey. Wild builds, good times, and that signature fast-talking flair. He invested more in tune-line content connected directly with fans, and leaned into the realness that made him famous in the first place. If the restaurants lost people, beverage was how he'd win them back. Elso made smarter business moves, smaller, more focused. Instead of chasing sprawling empires, he focused on strategic partnerships, collabs with car brands, limited edition merchandise, and premium builds for high-profile clients. The Gas Monkey brand was no longer trying to be everywhere. It was trying to be excellent, and fans noticed. More importantly, Rawlings changed the massage. It wasn't about being a mogul. It was about loving cars, loving the hustle, and doing it your own way. In the end, Rawlings proved that even after a crash and burn, you can rebuild if you'll go back to your roots and remember what drove you in the first place. For Richard Rawlings, the rise was fast, but fall was faster. The Gas Monk restaurant empire was supposed to be the crown jewel in a brand built on speed, grit, and personality. Instead, it became a reminder of what happens when you trade purpose for profit. But in true Rawlings fashion, even that failure turned into a lesson and a story Heckle used to fuel the next chapter. The truth is, Rawlings never set out to run a restaurant chain. He wanted to build a legacy, something bigger thankers, louder than TV, flashier than merchandise. But the deal that promised all off that ended up nearly breaking everything had built. And yet, it didn't. Because when the lights shut off and Theplis closed, Richard didn't disappear. He regrouped, recalibrated, recommitted to the brand that built him in the first place. Today, Rawlings is still chasing deals, still flipping cars, still flying private jets, and sipping his branded tequila. A PD dose it now with a little more caution and a lot more clarity. The restaurant crashed to destroy Gas Monkey, exposé its limits. And that lesson, the value of focus, the importance of staying close to your core, might just be what saves it in the long run. Ask Rawlings about it now, and he'll probably smile, throw out a joke, and pivot to whatever's working on next. But behind. The Karm is a man who learned painfully thought, even a high-octane brand can burn out if it leaves its roots behind. And in that way, the fire may have saved him, because sometimes what looks like failure is just the fuel for a better ride ahead.